The shir is dedicated to Zechen Nishmas Rachaleya Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi. In this shir, we're going to examine the Navi as he interacts with other Ma'arachos. We're talking about specifically the interaction between the Navi and the other governing agencies that exist in Klal Yisrael that are primarily accentuated in Sefer Dvarim, Prakim Yud Zayin and Yud Ches. That the Torah addresses the general governing bodies. I'm talking about Melech or Malchus, the notion of a king, sovereignty. The second body, which of course is also significant, is the Shofet or the Sanhedrin. The third body being the Kohen, Mem is Melech, Shin is Shofet, Chaf is Kohen, and the last of course being the Navi. And this notion of, if you will, separation of powers of different Rishuyos is one that is pretty well accentuated in the Torah itself. It would seem that of all these different kochos, the Navi has the ability to be ma'urav almost in every single area, in every tchum. If one recalls, at the very beginning of Sefer Yirmiyahu, when Hashem Yisbarach sends the Navi Yirmiyahu on a mission to become a Navi, so the pasuk seems to indicate this idea very clearly. The Navi is told that wherever I send you, you're going to go, and wherever I tell you to say, you're going to speak. So the Navi seemingly has the ability to interact and to really more or less transcend every single tchum, every single area. Mashenkein, the Melech, and the Shofet, and the Kohen, they have a certain misgeret, a certain framework within which they operate, and it seems that the Navi can actually go beyond a very limited and localized kind of misgeret. We're talking about, of course, from Shmuel HaNavi all the way till the Churban Bayis Rishon. When we look for a moment in Prakim, Yud Zayin, and Yud Ches and Sefer Dvarim, let's just examine this for a few moments and try to get a sense of the different ma'arachos that exist. Initially, we have the king, of course, which I said is a very significant, certainly, Ma'aracha, one of the governing bodies, he seems to be beyond. But even before the king, the beginning of Parsha Shoftim, in Sefer Dvarim, the Torah speaks about the obligation to appoint judges. And there seem to be three different levels of judges. One is, of course, a specific court that operates b'chol yir v'yir in every city. A second is, if you will, a kind of Beit Mishpat Mechozi, as it's called, a regional Beit Mishpat, which is of each shevet, consisting of a bezin of 23, and then of course we have the bezin Agadol that the Torah mentions over there in Perek Zayin pasuk Ches, ki yipoli mimcha davar lamishpat ben dam ledam ben din ledin uvein negel lanegel divrei rius v'sharecha v'kam to v'yalisa l'makam ashiyivcha Hashem Elokecha bo uvasor al hakohanim alviyim el hashofet ashiyeh b'yom mahem v'darashta v'gidulcha is dvar mishpat. And the Torah tells us, "V'yasis al pi hadavar shegilucha," you should follow their dictate. Min hamakam asher Hashem, v'shamarta lasos k'chol asher yirucha. Al pi haTorah asher yirucha ve'al hamishpat asher yamulecha taseh lo sasem min hadavar shegilucha yamus mol. The obligation, of course, is not to deviate, not one iota, from that which the Bezin Hagadol commands you to do. V'yayish asher yaseh bezadon levilti Shmuel HaKohen. Here we have the concept of a Zakin Mamre, one who does not subscribe to the dictates of the Bezin Hagadol, the Sanhedrin Hagadol. So more or less here, at the very beginning of Shoftim, we have presented to us the concept of the Ma'arechet HaMishpat, of the governing bodies that direct traffic in Klal Yisrael. And obviously there are instrumentalities that they utilized, namely one sees this in Perek Yutes, where the Torah describes the fundamental basis for all the Ma'areches HaMishpat, of course, the concept of two Eidim is a very fundamental notion mentioned in Halacha, in Perek Yutes Pasuk Tezvav, Lo Yokem Eidecha Beish L'Chalavin L'Chalchatas, and Eidecha only has limited kind of power, and Eidecha is able to be Mechayev Shvua, but no more than that. Al Pi Shnei Eidim, Al Pi Shlosh Eidim Yokem Davar. The entire Ma'areches HaMishpat is based on the concept of two Eidim, and those two Eidim, of course, have total power, the ability to testify. Then we have other psukim, again, in this particular area, that relate also to a similar notion, but more or less, we are discussing the concept of shoftim and